A mix of hits and misses. That's how experts describe President Duterte's first year in office. In terms of economic reforms, the president of the European Chamber of Commerce of the Philippines, Duterte, says Mr. Duterte is on the right track with his 10-point socioeconomic agenda, thanks to what he described as efficient economic managers. But Taus also says Duterte's bloody war on drugs took a toll on the business community.
Living in the Philippines, you start to accept certain things, certain way of life and acceptances in society. So it's always easier to look from the inside out rather than from the outside in. It is not still well perceived in Europe or in the outside world, because that's not how things usually work. So yes, it does make our life in business and drumming up more business for the Philippines and bringing Philippine business to Europe. It makes it a lot more difficult, but on the economic front, I would say with all due respect, the president has put a very, very efficient team in place, made it be finance, made it be TTI, all people who are very bullish about the Philippines, who identify themselves with the issues and with the problems and tackle them head on. So
that's a very difficult.
In terms of foreign policy, UP Political Science Associate Professor Herman Kraft says Duterte's move to forge better ties with Russia and China are strategic. He also notes the country's relationship with Washington remains strong.
So there's that sense that geopolitically he wanted to change the normal patterns of our strategic partnerships and relations. But I think there's a difference between what we might refer to as rhetoric and what's actually going on the ground. Our relationship with the United States is still pretty strong at this point in time. But I think if we want to appreciate that notion of an independent foreign policy actually even more, it's really in the sense of improving and therefore diversifying our options in terms of those partnerships. And I'd settle for being somewhere in the middle, where we have good relations with everyone. I think what's interesting about what the president has done is that even as people seem to think that his rhetoric is moving us away from the United States, in terms of institutional relationships, relations between the Philippines and the United States are still quite good, even as relations between China and the Philippines and Russia are actually improving.